Hey everyone, this is Quakeman. Hope the camera distance okay with the tripod. I hope you can hear me in this distance. The camera's not very good, which I need to get a professional mic because it does have a connection there. Money's not a problem for me here. Anyways, so this is another one I'm doing, open to discussion. It's not really an official title for the channel. It's just something I do if I want to take, long freaking 15-20 minutes about something I want to talk about game-wise. Maybe about how to make the game better for the company if they listen to this, or just something in general in that vicinity of my opinions on stuff. It's just open-ended, not scripted, So, before I get into it, I want to let you guys know that right now I just got my wisdom teeth pulled, so I'm being, so it hurts kind of. I'm okay. I can talk okay. I just got to be very careful. I can't really eat, even though I'm really craving some pizza right now. But besides the point, I want to talk about, if you can see by the title for episode 2, I know I was supposed to do Blacklight. I know I was supposed to talk about Blacklight Tango Down, but Retrobution is coming out in a couple months, and I don't think I have time to write what Blacklight was, since Retrobution has pretty much got it done. I got access to the closed beta, and it starts up in November. I've gotten some early access of what they're doing, so I pretty much don't need to talk about that. They already got their stuff together, and they're already working on it very hard for Blacklight Retrobution. For today, for episode 2, after I talk about Mirror's Edge, we're going to talk about Brink. Brink that came out back in August. Brink came out back in, no, why did I say August? Back in May of this year, and it's very unappreciated. It's one of those games that a lot of people did not catch on because of what it was. It was made by Splash Damage, published by Bethesda, using iDetect 5 software before Rage came out, which recently just did, and it looks like it's doing very well in its review, so I'm pretty excited about that. So Brink is basically a game like Mirror's Edge with Call of Duty aspects, with like Battlefield Glassmark. Best way to describe it. The game is not that, how you could say, like, that beautiful. It's how do you describe it? It's not very luscious. It's not very beautiful as a futuristic. You're basically on this thing called the Ark, I guess, around an island, and it was building and building, and I guess something happened. It crashed, and there was a mark, and then there was a fight against security and the rebels, which is kind of common, I guess, in cities like that. So between those two, you're fighting, and you choose a side for the title campaign for Brink. Now, I'm gonna admit, I've put at least 5 hours on this game, and even though I like it, I know a lot of people hate it, but I kind of like it for what it is. The story is bad. The cutscenes are very quick. They talk about what you're doing for the missions, and then you're fighting. And when it's over, you don't understand what's happening next. The first mission you do as the security team, because I've been doing them mostly, you save some like POW guy from the rebels, and I guess he knew information about the rebels and the plan or something, and so you save them. Next mission, you have to hack a security door to open it up, go down, crack open a safe, steal whatever in the safe, and escape with it, which is like information about something. The next mission, you're on some like broken docks area, a bunch of like metal stuff. It's hard to explain, but you're supposed to blow up a barricade, and you're supposed to bring a robot to break open this thing. Oh no, wait! You have to activate a crane to get the robot. Then you fix the robot. You get the robot on its way, and once it gets to its last position, it opens the safe. You grab the safe, and you escape. And then the next message, you're trying to stop the rebels from getting some guy in the prison. That's as far as I got, and I'm lost on the whole entire story. The gameplay is fun, and the story is just bad. And that's one thing Brink 2, if that's ever going to be confirmed, is one of those things that needs to be made, is be more clear on the story. Because it was very brief, it was simple, and it made no sense to me what I'm doing as a security force. And the rebels, even more worse. I don't even understand what the heck I'm doing there. So, for the whole story thing, they really need to fix that. because the campaign makes no sense. I have no idea what the heck the arc is. I don't know what is going on with the arc. Why is the security trying to save it? Why are the rebels trying to destroy it or escape it? I don't get it. So that's one thing they need to fix on, is more explanation to the story. The second biggest thing is they need to make the campaign not act like training for the multiplayer. This is something I don't get. I don't get why some companies do this. Unreal Tournament 3 did this very heavily, and you know, a lot of people say that Call of Duty does it, or you know, Halo does it. But in a sense, that's wrong, because of Call of Duty there's no perks or attachments or bonuses. So, and single player, there's none of that. So how's it training? It's training for reflexes. That's it, but not anything else. But in Brink, the things you do in the campaign, exactly the same things you're going to do online. That mission you did about saving the guy, the POW guy, that's the same thing you're going to have to do if you play online in a Rebel, if you play that map. Trying to get the thing from the safe, same thing. Trying to rescue the prisoner as a Rebel, same thing. So that ruins it for me. The bots are stupid, as always. AI is never going to get any better, because that's how it is. Team AI, more specifically. It's never going to get any better. But I don't like that. I mean, that's where the clear words of campaigns just training for the single player. That should be always untrue based on everything. You know, the campaign should never be a training to it. There should be a combat training like Black Ops did for training. Now, not necessarily, combat training does help most of the time, because, you know, you can't predict players, you can predict bots, though. But this one is basically where if you play the campaigns, it's the same thing when you play online. Now, luckily, there are some, like, freelance missions. There are some other things that aren't in the campaign per se that you can play online. But it still is the same thing. You use a class to do an objective, which I love that variety. I love that when you choose a map, that it's not just the same thing that most games do. I like how it's very specific. Battlefield Backup 2 recently did that too, and Battlefield 3, which comes out next week, as this is recorded, did the same thing, where certain maps only had certain game types. Like Heavy Metal is only a conquest and a squad deathmatch mode. There's Port Validaz, which is only a conquest mode, and a rush, and so on and so forth. There's certain maps that only have certain game types. I understand this is going to be a problem to most people, and that's something I wish Call of Duty would do at one point, but I understand that the resources and the money, they can't really do that. But I sometimes like it where they have a vast variety of maps, where they're very specific to a game type, where, like, say, Call of Duty Black Ops, Nuketown cannot be played as sabotage, search and destroy, demolition, domination, or capture the flag, but it can play team deathmatch, free-for-all, and hardcore team deathmatch. That makes sense to me, but because of how small the map's is. But maybe something that's too big shouldn't have team deathmatch or anything like that. It should have capture the flag or search and destroy. But a lot of people are going to complain about that. That's just me, but whatever. So with Brink, the campaign is exactly just playing with bots and doing the same thing as if you were going to play online. You can just play the campaign you can just go online and get all the achievements, if that matters to you, just from playing online with people. And the sad part is I got it on Steam, and I can't seem to figure out how to connect to a damn person on there, so that kind of screws me over. So I'm stuck with playing with bots on this thing. I can't even connect to friends with playing with them. I don't know why. So that's that's one thing. They need to make the campaign more fluent. I don't mind the whole class thing, but they should make the campaign feel like, how do you say, like an actual campaign experience, an actual single-player experience, an isolated experience. Dead Space does it pretty well. Mass Effect 3 is coming out soon. I can't wait for that. Stuff like that should be it. Now, when you play the single-player campaign, the single campaign should be played out as if you're playing a Call of Duty game, in a sense, where there's a cutscene, you start the mission, and you play as your character. And most people won't like that, but you possibly would be forced to be a certain class during the entire mission, you know. And what you're doing and everything does not relate to the online portion. The online portion should have its own maps. It should have its own type of missions. It should be exactly what Brink is, but an actual single-player experience, if you know what I mean. So that's the big thing they need to fix on the campaign. Don't make it where you're just with bots, because that really screws up everything. I don't like that. You know, a single player should be a single player experience. Co-op should be a co-op experience, which I'm happy that Mass Effect 3 is doing that, and multiplayer should be its multiplayer experience. Each one of them should have their own separate entitlements. It's why I didn't like World at War, where it's just, oh, look, I'm just another soldier in your battlefield. You know, I have no points to the story. I don't like that. Make the single player a single player experience. Make the co-op a co-op experience like Splinter Cell Conviction did, and make the multiplayer a multiplayer experience. Separate the boundaries. And that's the thing that Brink needs to have if it's going to have some sort of co-op or single player portion of it. Now, I like the whole created character situation. I like how you can create a character, but going back to the campaign, that created character should only be for either the co-op or the multiplayer portion separately. The single player, you should be playing as a character that's related to the story. I know Call of Duty is the same way, where you play as a character that is related to the story, and the only character you ever actually heard his damn voice was MacTivish Soap. That was the only person you ever heard when you played Modern Warfare 2. You played him at Call of Duty 4 as the SAS, but then in Modern Warfare 2, that was the first time that you actually get to hear his voice and everything. But some of the other characters play as in the armies or whatnot, they're no one. You know, they're just absolutely no one. So they need a single player experience to be able to. And please be very descriptive of what happened to the arc. If you have to make a prologue just to understand how the thing went to crap, that's another thing. Okay, so I'm talking about all the other necessary things. Now we're going to talk about the gameplay and the gunplay. The gameplay, like I said, is like Call of Duty with Mirror's Edge with TF2-like objectives and Battlefield classes. It's a lot to mix up. It's a lot to compare on 5 games, to be more specific. Now, what I want to get to first before I went to the other end is I want to get into the Mirror's Edge portion. The Mirror's Edge portion of it is that your character always runs. Your character can jump over things. He can climb up things. Like if you jump up a wall, he will climb the wall, grab the ledge, and climb up. So you don't have to. So this is something I like, because instead of like, oh, I have to get up there, let's just go the long way, and now I'm up there. You can just go, oh, hey, there's a ledge, jump, and you're up. That's what I like about Brink. I understand that not every game is going to do that. I'm not saying every game should, but that's what makes Brink actually very impressive. It has potential with this. I don't know how you can explain it, but that really changes a lot of Battlefield, because people can just climb things up. You know, these aren't really big bad soldiers, and most of the time, well, I wouldn't know because I'm not in the army, but I don't think soldiers will, climb up edges with all those guns and stuff. And I understand it's unrealistic, but the game is unrealistic to begin with, so play fun. But you can jump over ledges. You can slide and actually knock people over. Like if you're running into someone and you press crouch, you can slide and knock them over, and then they're on the ground like as if they're in Last Stand from Call of Duty and trying to shoot you before they get back up. You can shoot them or melee and drop them dead. So that's pretty cool. But the Mirror's Edge portion I like about it is the fact that you jump over tables. You can slide under tables. You can actually get under stuff instead of having to, oh, I'm going to just strafe around it. You can actually slide in and shoot someone, or you can jump over it and shoot someone. That sort of aspect to me is what makes Brink very unique. The gunplay of it is very cool, but the gunplay itself is actually not. It's very confusing how you're hitting someone. You do have a health bar and it does regenerate, but you die so quickly sometimes. The weapon layouts you have is not terrible, it's not bad, but it's a little mixed bag here. What kind of makes me sad is there's no sniper rifles. No bolt-action rifles at all. And coming from someone who uses Winchester rifles, that's kind of a piss-off move for me. Love bolt-action rifles. But they have a vast variety of machine guns, assault rifles. They have stuff that people might remember of, like maybe the TAR or the ACR from Call of Duty. It does look like that. A bunch of other guns, like the M16 and stuff. So there's a bunch of guns there that are similar, but they're very different because it's like futuristics in a sense. The Vector's in there, but it looks edited. There's a gun that looks like the MP7 as well as the MP5, but again, it's a little edited. But, you have the primary and stuff. There's a couple of shotguns, not a whole lot, and I didn't see any, like, machine guns. they need to have some more variety of it. Now, I know it seems weird, but like, every game should at least have, in my opinion, 5 assault rifles, 5 submachine guns, 5 light machine guns, 5 shotguns, and 5 sniper rifles, ranging between automatic and bolt action. That's just me. Every first-person shooter that tries to go into a multiplayer state should at least have the minimum of 5, and the maximum, I don't know. Too much is too much, but the maximum I would say probably about 10 of certain stuff. I'm sorry, I have a hard time trying to be specific, but there's just not a lot there, and it doesn't have a lot of variety. Some of the guns do the same thing. However, I gotta say what was pretty nice is there's a lot of attachments you can put on this thing. And what's really interesting is every attachment has an upgrade and a downgrade, which it's pretty rare for most games. Black Ops didn't have it for Rapid Fire, which surprised me. But if you put, for example, if you put Dual Mags, which is like, I know it sounds like a copy of Black Ops, because it did come out, I think, this year or so, or last year. Somewhere, it was in May of 2010, I think. If you put Dual Mags, you reload faster, but bringing the gun out is a little bit slower. And that's what I think is pretty cool, is how, depending on what attachments you put on there, like a heavy barrel, or silencer, or sometimes an ACOG, depends on how fast you take it out. I use the ACR lookalike with the as a primary, and you can have certain submachine guns, like I use the Vector version as a secondary, and I was able to like bring that out like really, really quick. But when I put the dual mag thing as well as the red dot, it took out pretty slow. So that I think is pretty cool. But the gunplay again is a little well. But I like how every upgrade has a downgrade, and that's something that's always gotten in my mind. Is how in my mind, for every upgrade there should always be a downgrade, and the same thing happens with gun. For every gun in the game that you add, there should always be at least one pro to it and at least one negative. Like, oh, that gun is really, really, you know, has the highest damage out of all the other assault rifles, but it's very non-accurate. Something like that. And that's what's really hard about making games very variety about stuff. It's why Counter-Strike never did that. Well, who knew? Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm getting ready for global offensive, so disregard my network. So, the gunplay is okay. It acts like Call of Duty, but it's weird in a sense. The gun selection is okay. Some of the stuff you can add to it is pretty impressive, but at the same time, it lacks, if that makes sense. And oh yeah, and the only way you can earn those attachments is playing these special challenges on the side. There's no sort of challenge system or the XP system like Call of Duty where like you have to get 10 kills with a gun or do something specific to earn an attachment. You got to do these special modes, and you got to complete them 3 times to earn stuff for these guns. That's a blatant dick move, sorry. You should, like, those are nice to unlock, like, special headgear and special, you know, stuff related to the character, but for gun-related play, for gun-related stuff, that should be for challenges for multiplayer, like kills, melee, stuff like that. Oh, that's another thing. The melee's not insta-kill. The melee is a punch to the face with your gun, not a knife. Thank you. Okay, I'm sick and tired of Black Ops being so uber easy with their knifing, so that people can just like go, ooh, you're dead because I pressed a little button. You know, I'm really happy Battlefield 3 is going to make it where insta-kill is only if you take the knife out and stuff. I'm a little pissed about Crysis 2 making it where the melee was insta-kill, if you remember that. So, I don't know how much time I have. I think I'm getting close to the end date, or the battery's almost dead. I can't tell. So I'm going to have to make this as quick as possible. Brink has a lot of potential. The maps look good, but not perfect. The IG Tech 5 does look really nice and everything, but it does lack a lot on detail. I want better understanding of how the campaign works, because the campaign makes no sense to me, and it's exactly like Unreal Tournament 3, where the campaign is exactly what you would do in online without the whole cutscenes and story mode. I don't like that. Add more varieties to the gun, all that stuff. I forgot to talk about the classes. Okay, so there's 4 classes, and I hope the camera doesn't die on me for this. There are 4 classes to the game. You have the assault guys, you got the engineers, you got the medics, and you got the, I think they're called the assassins or something. They're not recon, they're not ghosts, I think they're hackers. I'm not exactly sure. I forget what their name is. So, Each class has a job to do, and I think this is pretty nice. Most games have it where medics can't do crap because they have terrible guns, and their only job is to heal people, so they give them terrible guns because they're not supposed to be on the front. That's not fair. That's why I like Blacklight Company too. Medics actually have very big objective points in the game, especially when you have to escort the guys during the first mission, or whatever level you have to do. The assault guys are the only guys that can plant bombs. They're the only ones that can plant bombs onto devices to blow up, either objective related or they have to blow up a shortcut. That's another thing. Geez, that blew my mind. I forgot about. Let's go back to the whole map design. Like I said, the map design may not be really good, but what I think is pretty cool is how you got straightforward levels. You got like straightforward of where you're supposed to go to get to the objective. But then you have like these little shortcuts, other ways of getting to it. And what I think is pretty cool is that depending on your class, you can actually do stuff. Like as an engineer, you fix things. Obviously, that's what engineers do. There's an area where you have to get up, but you can't because the stairs are broken. As an engineer, you can fix that, and then you got a shortcut for your teammates that gets you up quicker. Or as an enemy side, you build up a barricade so they don't go through this shortcut. Or there's a door here, and you hack it so you can open the door up. There's all these ways of making shortcuts. That's impressive. Instead of making it where there's just one straightforward guide and maybe some little slots, there's actually ways to obstruct and make the guys not do shortcuts. Those shortcuts can be a real, Tides of War changer for the game. If people are having a hard time up front, you fix that thing and you got people in the back as well as medics and engineers, and you can just kick your ass out there. So that's what I think is pretty cool about that. Is, again, a lot of things about Brink has on the table. Big potential. Big potential, and I really wish Brink 2 would be made if they did, but I think because of their sales, I don't think they're going to, which kind of makes me sad, because it has a lot of potential to be really good, because it really it's a new multiplayer taste, and I always love to see new multiplayer taste. I mean, I don't mind Crysis and Call of Duty and Battlefield, but it's like, can we get something new for first-person shooters for once, and Brink had it? Didn't do so well. Whatever. I can deal with it. So, as for the classes, each class has special abilities. Like the assault guys have Molotovs they can throw, which can burn an area and knock people over. The engineers can build turrets. They can build landmines. They can fix things, objective or non-objective wise. They can also destroy things. Oh yeah. As for the medic can. Oh, and I'm jumping back and forth. I am not superficial. As an engineer, you can actually buff your damage. And last time I checked, the buffing of damage is permanent till you die. So it's kind of like turning on stopping power whenever you want. But it's not a little button. When you click the button, you can give it to teammates very fast. Like you just press the button and you throw it and they have it. For you, it takes about 3 seconds. You have to hold it down and then you bump your damage or wait for someone to bump your damage. Same thing goes for the assault guys who give out ammo. You give out ammo, it's quick. But for you, it takes a few minutes, which is weird. But medics can buff health, using a syringe. They buff their health by 1 point, and you can buff yourself as well. But again, it takes about 3 seconds. And once you buff yourself, you can't do it again after a while. And as the assassin, hackers, whatever you call them, he has a mask picture. He puts devices to hack into systems to open up doors and open up barricades. This system is cool, but it can be kind of useless. You have the ability to disguise yourself as the enemy team, kind of like the spy in TF2. The sad part, you can't do it willy-nilly. You have to find a dead body. An enemy dead body. Not a body that's calling for a medic, I mean dead and they're respawning. That can ruin a lot. And since you can create a character, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. Because if you're wearing the same thing as another guy, they can see it. Because when you have a lot of stuff to choose from, what you do as a character creation, it's kind of hard, to run into someone with the same facial expression and tone, as well as the same armor and color as you. It is kind of rare. So that disguising thing almost is completely utterly useless unless it randomly generates a character for you. Then that could make sense. But it's, you know, it's half cool, half good. They need to work on that. So the classes have jobs to do that can affect the battleground both on a side mission standpoint and the main mission. As for the main mission, you also got command posts you got to take over to either bump up your ability. You have a bar in a corner that's your ability bar, and if you use the, you know, Molotovs, or you use a spike grenade, or you use buffing your health, buffing people, giving ammo, it takes a bar, and the bar recharges very slowly. When the game starts, you start with 4. You can also get upgrades when you level up to bring that character to have 5 at the start. Command posts can give you another one. Command posts can also give you another spawn point. It can also give you, I'm trying to think of it. It can give you another piece of health or something like that. So command posts are a side mission, as well as building barricades and making shortcuts is another side mission, and then you got the main mission. Now, the last thing, which I understand that the camera might turn off in 5 minutes, is the XP system, which I gotta give thanks to Bethesda and Splash Damage for this. The XP system is pretty cool. It takes over like 6,000, 10,000 to level up once you hit past 20. But what I think is very interesting about the level up system is you get XP for anything you do. While in games like Call of Duty, you get a kill when you kill someone, it's 100 points plus bonuses for like headshots, why not? And then you know, assist points, planting a bomb, defusing a bomb, bomb blows up, capture the flag, grab the flag, capture a flag in domination. What else is there? What other game modes are there? I think that's it. You know, you get points for everything you do. In this game, you get points for pretty much everything. You're shooting someone, for every bits of points for every hit marker you get 1 XP. So if you're fighting an entire round with someone, you can earn up to like 40 XP. You heal people, that's 80 XP. You know, you buff someone, help you, that's 50 XP. You give someone ammo, that's 50 XP. You buff your, well, you don't buff yourself, you get, I mean, you do anything that's objective related that you earn much of it. I did 2 experiments where I played a game where it was on easy, so the bots can do it. I played as an assault, and I did nothing but just kill people. I just killed, went on like, you know, an 8 kill streak or whatnot with these bots. And when the game ended, I was in the 3rd leaderboard. Then I replayed it and actually was ejected, and I became the top of the leaderboard with more than 4 times the XP I got when I was just doing KD. That's nice. That really affects the purpose of people. If people are so superficial about the KD spreads, and I can understand that in games like Team Deathmatch, but Brink is not Team Deathmatch. It's not free-for-all. It's not the objective is you kill other people. The objective is to blow up stuff, grab a guy, grab a save, do whatever the level is, you know? That's the objective. Not a KD spread. Not being positive and not going, you know, not being no proficient, you know? So I like that. It really is nice of how that does that, so that is pretty cool. I think that's everything about Brink. So those are all the good and bad about Brink. You know, now please remember, I'm not saying Brink is the best game in the world. I'm not saying it beats any other game out there. I will have to say that nice job, Splash Damage, for trying to get it a T. When you make a first-person shooter, trying to make it a T really downgrades you very hard. So I would say that when it comes to first-person shooters, especially something like Brink, you should always make it an M. It opens up the horizon of what you can do. Not just violence, not just the blood, not just the cursing. It really opens up the horizon of what you can and can't do. Trust me, I've seen it before, and I had a friend of mine who had to deal with that. Okay, I mean, look how Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe turned out when that turned 8. It was crap. So, that was Brink. Brink is not the best game ever, but it's not the worst game ever, in my opinion. I understand the reviews 5.5, 4.5. The average of I think it was an average of 62 or 59. Don't remember. It's been a while since I looked that up. So, Brink has its ups and downs, but it has major potential as an online counterpart to Battlefield, Call of Duty, and all those different games out there that are very heavy on first-person shooter aspects, as well as Halo. So Brink has potential, and if Splash Damage and Bethesda can listen to me, and I know I'm just absolutely just no one. I'm just some guy named Quakeman on YouTube trying to get somewhere. I have to say, Brink, if you guys announce Brink 2, you know, here's some of the ideas. Add more gunplay to it. You know, don't make the single player act as if it's, you know, just training for the multiplayer. Don't make them exactly the same. You know, make it a more single player experience. Add more challenges for the gunplay. The classes are nice and well done still, but I think they need to be, you know, really edited out a little bit, because it seems too easy to change your class at any time, and you have no superficial about it. I know it sounds like I'm saying that they should do like what TF2 does, where certain classes have more health or less health, or more speed and less speed, but I kind of think that's what they could have done. I like the character sheets they had, but I do have to agree, you guys should have made girl classes in the game, because if you're going to make a creative character, make it where you have a girl as a choice, because that seems very, very unfair to not allow girls in a game like this. You know, I understand Call of Duty doesn't have girls, and I understand most games never have girls, but Halo had girls, Gears of War had girls, most first-person shooters has girls. So why don't you put it in Brink 2 when that comes out? Well, that's all I can really say. I'm still playing Brink. I know no one plays it on Steam anymore. I know no one plays it now and stuff, but I still enjoy it. You know, as long as I have fun, that's all that matters. I play games for the sake of playing games. That's how I am. That's how it's always been. I don't judge it until I play it. So that's all it is to it. So Brink is not, you know, I know this is not a review for Brink. I mean, I'm not around green screen. You know, I'm not under script. This is what I call open discussion. But if someone was going to ask me, what score do you think Brink could have gotten? I think it could have gotten a 5 out of 10. You know, I don't really like giving out scores, but I would say it was very, very average. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. It has potential if they just listen to people. But some companies don't. Some companies just, who cares about the consumers? But Brink 2, if that comes along, I have to say that, you know, if you look, there's a lot of potential to it. I love the gunplay, especially with the Mirror's Edge, sliding under things and jumping over things. Which, by the way, there should be an option to make that automatic or not. Like press spacebar to jump over things or crouch to slide, because that automatic stuff really screws me up at times. So that's what I can say about Brink. If you guys you know, want to say anything in the comments, do it down below. If you like it, blah blah blah, you know, that sort of thing. I don't really like doing that much. I don't like to self-advertise myself. You know, I don't like to tell people, oh, you know, you like this video, go like it, and if you liked it, also subscribe. I don't like, really, you know, it's your choice. If you want to, you know, if you like what I do, even though it's not the best, you know, you can. And if you like my video, you can. It's, you know, it's your choice. I'm not trying to memorize and brain. Whatever. So you guys have a great day. This is QuakeMan, episode 2-ish thing of my open discussions. I'll get into Blacklight Retrobution once I get my confirmation on what do you call it, the closed beta before it gets released in December. Can't wait to play that. I love Blacklight. It's the same thing like Brink. It has potential, but it just fails the mark. But I'm at least happy they got themselves up and tried again. So I can't wait for Blacklight Retrobution. And as for Brink, that's all I got to say. So I'll see you guys later.